Yeah, that's it. That's the whole movie. So Kraven the Hunter. It's the next film in the Sony extended Marvel Spider, not Spider Man verse villain thing that they got going on. The first few minutes of the film, it's him breaking into a prison to take out this douchebag guy who apparently does a lot of bad stuff. And those first few minutes are pretty decent. I really can't say that it's great. It was an awesome first few minutes, but it was okay. And it actually sets you up. You thinking, hey, this movie might be all right. And then it isn't. I want to give it a little bit of a break because yeah, it's a superhero movie, and you already suspend some disbelief because it's a superhero movie, right? So you're thinking, all right, I'm not going to be too judgy, too hard on this film, but then it just delivers non-stop early 2000s cliche dialogue, acting, everything about this. Even the CGI is somehow worse than the films that we've seen 20 years ago. The Lion, it looks so bad, and you can forgive the cheesiness and the campiness of the film because you almost expect that in a superhero genre movie. All right. But then when you see something that looks so bad, it just takes you immediately out of the film right then and there. And it's throughout the film where there's a lion, the cheetah, the rhinos, it's all bad. And there is a section, a scene in the movie where he's in the fight scene and there's a wildebeest running around everywhere. And he's looking around trying to navigate all the wildebeest running, but it's shot from a wide angle and there are none around him. And you can still see that he's taking his time, trying not to get hit, but there's none around him. The direction that they give the actors is not good. Told the actor, you can tell, they told him in scene while they're shooting to do one thing, but then in post, when they put the CGI wildebeest in it, it's completely different from what it's supposed to be or what he was told to do. The actors in it aren't they're not there. They are checked out throughout the duration of this film. The only one that actually does a good job is the guy that plays Rhino. He hams it up. He knows the film that he's in. He does a good job. It's as if they told Aaron Taylor Johnson to just smolder the entire movie. Just do that and you're fine. And the problem with that, it goes back to the fundamental beginnings and the reality of the character of who he is in the comics. He is not a hero. He's barely even an anti-hero. In the film, it shows Russell Crowe as being abusive and neglectful and hating his half-son or his illegitimate son. And in the comics, it's Kraven that is abusive and narcissistic and leaves Dimitri with all these scars and gives him the reason to become the character that he becomes. In this movie, they take that away. I can handle changing some characters around a little bit, but when they have you starting on one end of the spectrum, have one storyline with an abusive father, but then it constantly takes a back seat and goes in different directions that it doesn't need to go. You had a story. You had one story that you could tell. But then they just deviate it every chance they get, and I sort of know what's going on here. The producers and creators of this movie know that this is the last one, so they're just throwing darts out there. Hey, give them all the characters, give them all the storylines, because we're never going to be able to finish them. We're never going to be able to deliver. So just Calypso's in there, the Foreigner's in there, Chameleon. Rhino, obviously, and again with the Foreigner, didn't need to be in this movie. He could have been any random for hire mercenary because of the way. I'm not going to spoil it because there's going to be somebody out there who wants to watch this film and actually enjoy it. So you do that, you have fun. Anyway, back to the acting. It's not there. It's not there. Calypso, no chemistry with Kraven whatsoever. The Foreigner, who cares? And Russell Crowe. You could have cast anybody in that film. His Russian accent is awful. He does that whole Kevin from The Office thing where it says, "Why use many word when few word work?" That's his whole shtick. And half the time you can't understand what he's saying because his accent is just shite. It's that bad. I mean, who cares what he's saying? Because you can't understand it anyway. The movie is also jam packed with just stupid one liners delivered one after the other, and none of it makes sense. And they're supposed to be impactful in the scene, and they're just not. You don't feel anything because the whole thing between Kraven and his dad and his brother is rushed. Then after you have the first cool 8 minutes of the film of him going to that prison, it goes to a flashback for what? A half an hour, 40 minutes of the film of story that you don't need to know. You should have just picked up with him being a hunter in the African wilderness. Yeah, you can show him going off and leaving his home, but we don't need to see the rest of the backstory. That's shoehorned into the film because Sony knows they're not making anymore. So they just shove it in there, and it doesn't. It's boring. It doesn't make you care about the characters anymore. And as far as Russell Crowe goes, yet his performance is so bland and muted. You could have used Andrei Orlovsky. Who cares? I mean, at that point, who cares? Because the accents are horrible. You could have picked any random Russian-speaking guy to play that role, and it would have been fine. You didn't need Russell Crowe. Didn't need that huge paycheck for an actor that it barely acts in the film. It's not even offensively bad. It's just borderline insulting the audience bad. And I have another question: is if you keep making these villains into heroes or anti-heroes, what villains is Spider-Man going to have left? Because Morbius is now supposed to be some weird hero, anti-hero. Venom, I guess, was always does become like more of an anti-hero, but again, Kraven is a narcissistic killer hunter who is abusive to his family. I mean, he is a villain through and through. And then to make him who he is in this film because of modern sensibilities, because we want to have a message, it's just make a quality film first and leave all that stupid other shit out of it, because that's not what anybody even wants to see. What else can I say about this film? I mean, there's literally a part where a building falls on Kraven, and you can you can see the CGI, the boulder, the rubble just bouncing off of it. Did that magic lion's blood make him just completely invincible? I thought it was just supposed to make him, superhuman. That and that magic pixie dust stuff that the lady gave him, which that as well. I mean, just convenience in the film that she's there as a young child while he, it's just, this is definitely going on my list of worst movies of the year. If you enjoy this movie, that's fine. If you go in and you like some of the action set pieces and you have fun, that's great. I want you to do that. But if you tell me that this is a good film, I really, really worry about your critical thinking skills. I mean, have you seen it? Are you going to see it? I hope you don't. But at the same time, I like to share misery. Let me know down in the comments your opinions on the whole Sony thing. Did you like any of them? Some of them are probably worth watching, but now, it's gone. There's no more Sony villain verse. So, honestly, maybe I've just been spoiled with Marvels. But anyway, I'm going to stop ranting. That's my review on it. It's bad. Don't waste your time. Go see Nosferatu when it comes out. I know I'm going to. Go see Sonic 3. Go see any other movie. Go see anything else. Anyway, till next time.